objects. Like, I don't know what that means. Are you talking about physics, spirituality, something unknown, and how does drawing help you do that?
Well, I'm talking about both, I think, both like...
What is that? Now, what is energy in objects? Like, give us, like, pick up the iced tea there and show us what you mean by the energy in it. I don't get it as an idea,
no.
So...
Well...
I mean, I understand calories,
yeah,
and how bodies convert sugars and proteins into energy. But what do you mean by energies in objects in the Tokyo Bay, for example? And how do I draw that?
Yeah, it's really, for me it's still unclear how I can draw that. But I am, like, for instance, through this drawing, I'm trying to start to get there, because when there's, well, let's say, like, for instance, in this drawing, like, there's many different kind of cultural objects, let's say. There's the traditional architecture, the temples, and there's the kind of manga characters and Buddha statue.
Mm-hmm.
And as they are the complete assembly of all the parts, we kind of project a lot of like spiritual thoughts into this, or like we start charging these objects with more meaning than they actually have, because in the end they're just like pieces of wood put together, but then like the assembly of it becomes more than just that. So there is this kind of energy and more meaning that we project onto these. And so, like, through this drawing, I was starting to look how, like, if you start dissolving these things and taking them apart again, when do they lose their energy, or are they still contained in this energy that they had when they were together? So that's like how I'm trying to sort of pin down this energy and what it is, because I don't really know what it is either.
It's meaning. It's not energy.
Well, it's not.
It's a linguistic trope. It's
yeah. I mean, it's not energy.
Mean things, and I'm trying to find a way to convey that with the drawing.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think, yeah, so it's not maybe energy as a scientific matter, but
it might be, I don't know.
Yeah, but then there's the other thing which is actually more scientific that I've also been looking at, this kind of the electromagnetic radiation, like which I was looking at with my creature in last time, that all biological beings kind of emit this electromagnetic field, and but that is like more of a scientific energy, but. So I'm trying to find these kind of relationships between that kind of energy, which is scientific and biological, and then the more sort of spiritual energy, which is more the meaning maybe of objects.
Going back to the first question, I was thinking, and maybe it also gives further explanation to that, from whether, well, we were discussing whether perhaps in this unit the drawing stands for a narrative. Therefore, you're asked questions about meaning and translation, and perhaps in the previous unit, maybe the drawing is the narrative, or the way that one narrates things. And yeah, it's just a
if I can ask the question once again, right? I mean, to me, these images look more like illustrations, right? And I mean, you kind of several times mentioned your designers, right? So how do these illustrations then help you to design, right? Because ultimately, I think the claims you make for sort of scientific content or cultural content, I personally don't see it, right? So I mean, to me the question is, how do you make it useful to your designers?
Well, even if you call it illustrations or drawings, anything, they all kind of help me to kind of narrate and pin down, like really find the core of my interests, and also which will be the kind of the tool I'll use for designing. And so they all kind of add up as helping for the final design. But I mean, so the actual, like the final design for the final project hasn't really started yet, but this is all kind of backing up to that, which will start now in like the coming weeks. But they all definitely, even though maybe it might be like sometimes loosely attached to these cultural or scientific notions, they all this work kind of really helps my thoughts going towards the design. Yeah.
Well, I think it's quite a it's quite a radical, different approach, for instance, from the previous presentation. That I think in the unit, I think we tend to value a lot of the sort of intuitional way to design. That, you know, to some people, to maybe a certain group, it sounds irrational. In a way, it is irrational, and in another way, is actually is related to desire. You know, you are interested in a subject, you're trying to compile those subjects in drawings that are sometimes commentary, descriptive, speculative. But I think the heart of the unit is exactly that, trying to create not necessarily analytical, ultra-rational step between one or the other, but it's in a way trying to dissect and understand the desire between these subjects, these objects, and trying, I wouldn't call illustrations in any way, I would actually call them sort of attempts to sort of understand those desires towards the subject. And they are constructions. Like any construction, they are followed up by further constructions. But I think, you know, today we're going to see a lot of that conversation going.
No, I think it's good. And I think once we get to more structured discussions, that maybe sets up into more clear comparison between the almost similar things, such as an image, a diagram, a visual narrative, that plays a very different role in different units. So should we get the last presentation quickly in so that we can maybe open up a discussion to comparison? Okay, Inter 7.